What's going on, y'all? What's going on? It's Greg. Greg said it. Still live out here in Colorado, looking to catch a flight. Up all night long. And had a slight delay here. Have new computer. It's got a little cute feature. I like it. You're able to cover up the camera. I'm saying, why is my camera black? I had to take it to the window to see it. But I would love to be able to have like the backdrop of the window. Speaking of that, let me see if I can cut this loud AC off. So I had this loud country style AC. It decided to come on now. I don't know if you all can hear. I can. But like I said, I'm at the hotel. Planning to leave shortly. As you all should know, I made the trip out here to Boulder. That's a whole conversation in itself. It's been an interesting trip. I don't even know how to put my hands on it because it's like I came down early because I bought my tickets way before the game was announced. And it's like I was saying late last night, I was so, and I still feel, like, oh goodness. If I'd have knew the game was this late, I probably would have been like, forget about it. I probably been like, forget about it. Because it was just one of those situations, man. It was like, it was like, oh my goodness. I was up to 1:00 this time, which is technically 3:00 on the East Coast where I am. Your body don't adjust that quick. Plus, you got to adjust right back. You gain a couple hours coming out, you lose them going back. Like, I leave here, I get back 2 hours later, which is probably not as bad as 3, but you still losing time. So it was an interesting trip because I got so early. Called myself gonna catch the bus. Good morning, everybody in the chat. So I kind of had to figure some things out because the day of the game, like the game doesn't start at 8:00. It's like at home is even worse because you got all these activities. You don't want to put off your whole day to worry about a silly game. But you kind of posturing up. Same thing out here at the game. It's like I'm at the hotel. I literally can sit in the hotel all day and try to go out the game, but I don't know where I'm going. I don't know really the routes, which turned out to be pretty smooth. So I end up getting out there super duper early. Yeah. I end up getting out there super duper early to be able to kind of walk the campus. Nobody was out there. I left downtown. I didn't know what really was going on. I ended up going back, and it was crowded. Everybody was out there. A lot of KSU people. I'm like, I ended up walking the whole Boulder. I called myself saying, you know what? I got this on lock. I need to get on the field. My elevation game should be right. I don't walk all over Boulder. It felt like a weird combination for the people who, like, I don't know, you from Georgia. It kind of felt like I've been to Connecticut. It felt like West Haven, Connecticut / Mobile, Alabama / I don't know. But it's like little bitty blocks. I don't walk all over the place like I belong. In the elevation. Probably not all the way hydrated, but So I get to the game, and y'all saw I went live and did the buff walk, and all of a sudden I'm like, my ears ringing. I got to that crazy football field. That's why they be falling off. I ain't have no problems. I got to that football field. I'm sitting here like I'm a seasick, like, whoa. So I squat down, I'm all right, stand up, kind of came back, squat back down. I'm like, I couldn't barely hold up the phone. It was ridiculous. Probably I was dehydrated some, So I had a good time walking around the campus. Campus is huge, and it's huge because there's not a lot of space between the buildings, but there's a whole lot of buildings, and I was on in this part of the campus. So I'm just walking. And that was my experience before the game. Went in the game early and went live again. Make sure y'all go check that out. And was able to get sideline, basically on the sideline, is elevated. Gave y'all some good insight. Travis signed the poster. He signed the poster for the kid right next to me. You know, I talked to Neely. I missed the pregame. You know, they're little. I probably walked right past it. Didn't know where I was going to see. I was gonna go see the tour bus and see that I missed them once again. I missed them, and UCF missed them there. So I did see him on the sideline, and so I see y'all chats. It's a lot, man, and we definitely gonna get into it with my good, bad, and ugly. Ain't gonna stay extra long. About an hour or so. Be ready to get up out of here. Catch this flight. Shiloh definitely stood out tackling wise, but he wasn't the only one. But he definitely didn't tackle. Like he played. Would have lost. Would have won by 2 or 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, this definitely was a game. Honestly, I was at the game. Y'all watched the game. I was at the game. Y'all watched it. Different perspectives. They all look different, but they definitely didn't beat Colorado. Colorado definitely beat themselves. I mean, you can't really say outside their running game, they really didn't. I mean, the quarterback was probably supposed to be the biggest threat running the ball. He didn't do too much of anything running the ball. And then he just got ambitious at the end and desperate and throwing the ball. And, you know, before that, I called that pick because I'm like, he keep throwing the ball. He's going to make something happen. This is not what he want to do. He come back bombing. And we in one-on-one. We in one-on-one. And I'm like, you know, that was a gimme, guys. That was a gimme. That was a gimme. Put him on one-on-one, let him throw it up sideline, a lot like Baylor. They just kind of start the Baylor playbook. Just throw it up in the air and be hopeful. And he caught it. You know, no PIs, no nothing as far as on our end. Just throw it up in the air. The big wheel route that'll set them up to get down the field. They technically was in field goal, but they had to score. They had to score. They was down by 4. So I don't know what the philosophy was on defense at that point. I know they're going to wish to get that back. Ain't winning no more. Yeah, he wasn't the only one missing tackles at the line of scrimmage, but they was there. You know, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Good, bad, or ugly. We're gonna get more into this stuff. Only clown will show up now. They ain't any respect. We ain't entertaining the clown. You was big and bad. You should have been here all these weeks. Nobody want to hit. Nobody want to pop up. That's childish. If you haven't been here all this time, then go ahead on. About the team. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they didn't beat them. They just beat themselves and there's some other circumstances I kind of get into. Yeah, I don't know why they was in man. They had everybody on the line. This is what I'm gonna tell y'all before I get too deep into my thing. We had everybody on the line. Really, it could have been drag route city. The whole middle of the field was wide open. It's the fact that they went down the sideline throwing bombs that was interesting to me because it was absolutely. They brought Shiloh up on the line to blitz. They brought him up on the line of blitz on one of them plays. They kind of knocked it down, but it was like, I don't know what that was. We had our cornerbacks, no help. They never had their cornerbacks with no help. They always had safeties over top help. They never once did that. Yeah. I don't know what that was. I don't think Shiloh messed up the chemistry because he don't control that. I don't know what kind of play calling that was. When you really think about it, I didn't really get too deep into that at the time. But yeah, the coverage was crazy. I don't play it right. Yeah, that was coordination and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know if look here. Shiloh went on one out there. I'm gonna tell you that right off. And we gonna get into it because that's what I do. But Shiloh, I ain't taking up for Shiloh, but Shiloh wasn't the only one out there missing tackles. We went from a defense giving up 7 points, no more than 7 points in the second half. We gave up 17 yesterday. Be real. Whether he should have started or not, he definitely should have got in. They definitely should have made the adjustments because Shiloh was struggling like that. But he wasn't the only one missing tackles. Trust that. I watched it. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it in the flesh. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the all 22. I'm looking at it. Not on film. I'm looking at the stuff they was doing. It was at a point we only had one linebacker in. That second half, we only had one linebacker in. Until the end, they put Bentley back in, and they really shouldn't have put Bentley back in. They should have put Wester in. But we didn't. We can get into all the shoulda woulda. That's their problem. That ain't ours. Yeah. Cause we trust. Yeah. That's a fact. We seen that at Baylor. I mean, I have my opinions on that. I do because I don't all the way feel like they that kind of locked down. I never have. I mean, I just think they haven't been challenged like that because they haven't faced a Shador type quarterback. But when they do throw it up, they throw it up on them. They do. I think they even tried it with. Sometimes they just don't connect, but they throw it up. They throw it up. Oh, I'm gonna get into all that. I'm letting y'all get these chats. I know y'all gonna be throwing in because I know how y'all feel. But I'm gonna get into all of that. You talk about no energy. You don't even want to get me started on this no energy. That no energy thing. I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Shiloh tackled Giddens pretty good and just like open field tackling, but they had him in the backfield plenty of times, and they were doing some weird stuff. And him, Silman Craig, shoot, all of them, Hill Green, they were reaching. They wasn't hitting, they were reaching. And that boy was just what they call jump cutting. His jump cut was ridiculous. And he shouldn't have been able to jump cut. That's a whole nother conversation because he had space to jump cut, but he was very shifty. He was very bouncy. It wasn't a lot of that. It was a lot of he was bouncing around like Marshall Faulk out there, man. I'm gonna tell you something. That boy big. I thought that was a slim running back. When you see him on TV, I thought he was tall and slim. That's a big running back, man. That boy is not slim. That's a big running back. He definitely should be a pro running back. And he run like a pro because he bounce. He ain't depending on running over you every time and full speed. Man, that boy real shifty. He bouncy. He ain't got them 100 yards and stuff for no reason. I'm looking at him like that boy. That is very. We don't have a running back like that by far. He's a pro. If that's what a pro running back look like, we don't have one. He was. You try to hit him and he bounced. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah. That running back was very bouncy. You got to game tackle him. It's hard one-on-one because he was big too. So, every time they hit him, if they do hit him, they not hitting him head on because he bouncy. And then he slide for another 3, 4, 5 yards. You hit him and he fall for another 3, 4, 5 yards. The only way you control that guy is you control the line of scrimmage. And we did not do that as well by far. Even with Shadoze, and they put Barnes in there with Shadoze in the second half. We know Barnes don't want to do nothing no more than 1 or 2 plays. No, what you're saying right here not true, man. They give up big plays. That's what people talking about. You say they only got one. That because he wasn't targeting them. But when he targeted them, they make the plays. Preston has that deep ball ain't his thing. And since we here, I don't know why Hood wasn't in. Hood is the one that got the other pick. Hood is a true cornerback to me. I don't think Preston, everybody keeps talking about Preston is a true cornerback. He's a true nickel. He's stronger at nickel. He's him out there on the island. He don't have that kind of speed. You notice it happened in Baylor. If they run a go route on Preston, they usually get him. Preston is more like a better on the slot, covering, the slot, receivers, tight end. He's better in the middle of the field. I don't want him on the island. That's what they're talking about. And McKinney, same way. On them go routes, they get McKinney. Now on the other stuff, McKinney close. But they got a lot of work. They typically get him. The boy dropped the ball on McKinney. But that is no way was the coverage or whatever. They should be able to just drop the ball and throw it down the sideline. And they can score that easy. But we don't seen that in a couple games now, so we can't say these people wrong. Now, they may not say it how you want, but we seen it in Baylor. We seen it, shoot, we really seen it. The big play on us at the throwing, the only problem is they ain't got no quarterback. That's why I told you these teams can't beat. This boy all of a sudden want to throw the ball at the end, looked up, I guess, because, the coverage favored him. And really, he had the whole middle of the field. He just chose to throw bombs, and it worked. He could have screwed his old game because the middle of the field was open. And we brought the house, and we wasn't getting to him, when he was dropping back. And it's really not much to get to somebody. They go 1, 2, 3, bomb on you. They were just throwing bombs at that point. So it really wasn't a whole lot that from a pressure standpoint you was going to do. He was just throwing go balls on them, and they wasn't able to run with the receiver. And I'm going to be real with you. They haven't showed they can run with a fast receiver, and that's scary because Arizona going to do. Forget all that. They just take it out on their DBs. That's our best shot. Their best shot is to throw it. They throw it in the middle of the field. They mess around. Somebody tip it, get picked, all that type of stuff. But they throw it. It seems like our weak spot is the go ball down the sideline. Yeah, that would be foolish to say it's Shiloh's fault that they lost because all of them was missing tackles. I mean, the linebackers looked back like last year, honestly, and a lot of time to the point they pulled all the linebackers off and kept Hill Green out there. If you pay attention to the game, they brought in extra linemen. We had Barnes and Shadoze right here. Then we had another tackle that we had our edge rushers on there. And we still truly wasn't getting consistent pressure. We did at time, and I do think it took away the run lanes that the quarterback would normally try to take because there was so many people in the box. So they decided to start throwing the ball. I think that's what we should have wanted them to do. But the thing was, we probably should have went more to like a 3-4, like they was running, and say, since we're not getting home, we just gonna have an extra person in coverage. So one, them little slants and drag routes don't work, and two, we can let the safeties kind of help more over top, take away your deep ball and take away your intermediate. Forget the pressure because we're not getting it. BJ Green got home a couple times, but we're not getting the pressure. I kept saying, well, just drop BJ Green in coverage just in case. But that wouldn't even matter because they were throwing go balls at that point. Yeah, I mean, that's teaching. That's surely teaching, but that's a mentality too. You got to be aggressive. You got to be aggressive to put your hands on somebody, anything. Everybody talk good on that. You got to be aggressive to put your hands on anybody and anything you do. A coach doesn't do that. You got to have that mentality. You got to be comfortable with your hands to somebody's chest and body and your feet, and I put everybody on the wrestling mat. I know that's when it changed mine. Once I got on the wrestling mat and I got comfortable with hand-to-hand combat, that was a whole nother animal. And you weren't getting off the ball on me. You weren't getting off. I don't care how fast you were, and I get my hands on you. It's like a crocodile, like an animal. I get my hands on you, and it's like, that's it. You ain't getting off. So you better not let me get my hands on you. I'm gonna maul you. That's a mentality. The coaches don't do that. You got to be. That's training. That's right here. Footwork, everything great, but your feet and your hands are two different things. Bingo. Anyway. I don't know if I seen you before. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Bingo. That's one of the things I noticed. The last couple of weeks, Coach Brown like, forget it. Let's hit that practice. We ain't really seen their practice this week. It's been very quiet. But I guarantee you, he stopped letting them hit. They played like they played back in the day when they won physical. Because you got to, just like I just said about the hands, you got to get used to that physicality. I'm not talking about the trenches and the linemen pushing each other. I'm talking about tackling. Their tackling was clearly different from really the last few games. Their defense was clearly different from a physicality standpoint. Nobody popped nobody. I don't care what you say. Hill Green ain't hit nobody yesterday. He tackled, but it wasn't no typical pow, Bentley in, pow. Nobody was powing anybody. It was a lot of arm tackling and reaching. I'm saying watching them tackle at somebody with their arms. There was no head. It was reach. That's why they was missing so many tackles. You can't arm tackle a running back like that. Even Dylan Edwards. These people here, they shifty. You reach. You can't. Somebody, you reach and they move. You can't. What you going to, depend on your grip? You going to pull their jersey? They're not going to let you tackle them like that. They was arm tackling. They wasn't putting shoulder pads and helmet on them running backs. When they did, it was because the D-line controlled the line so well, it was no room for all that shiftiness, and they was able to wrap them up. But it was nobody hit. Boom! We didn't hear none of that yesterday. Not like you heard in UCF. He said Hill Green played a good game, but he wasn't the true Hill Green. And even Silman Craig, he wasn't the Silman Craig as far as hitting. It wasn't no hitting. And we can take a time out here because I want to shout out. You see our sponsor going across the bottom of the screen. Unified Strength. Shout out to you all. Unified Strength here. Some of the gear. Shout out to you all for supporting this channel, for making it where I can come on out here on a business trip. Flight and hotel stuff, not cheap. So thank you all for supporting. Thank you all for super chats. Thank you all for this watching. This is your social currency. Every time you watch, like, share, subscribe, you make it possible for me to be able to do this. Not only am I here being cute myself, it's a lot of work going out here and leaving what you have and go back. So it ain't all sweet. That's because vacation. It's not all that kind of vacation. I got to rush, get back, get to the airport, work, all that stuff. So, but I did this really for y'all. I got a lot of content I'm be dropping. I dropped the late video blog. Go check that out for UCF. I should have put that out over a week ago. I'm trying to clear this phone. So I'm going to be dropping this video blog real soon. You get to see the pretty mountains and the behind the scenes, some clips of the campus, some of the stuff y'all seen on Well Off from a different perspective. All of that good stuff. I'm going to be putting that together from this trip thanks to you all. You right here is making this happen. So make sure you like, share, subscribe so you don't miss it. How many of your content creators are out here doing this right now? I know I saw Rob the man out here. He was live. I don't know who else was here, but I'm going to give y'all some inside stuff that you get to see behind the scenes. That's what you're here for. That's why you subscribe. So shout out to all of you all who normally here. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Well, let's do this. But thanks for being here one way or another. All right. So we go back, catch up on these comments. Then I'm going to get into this good, bad, and ugly. Because y'all tearing these comments up. Keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming. Because y'all on point. Can't say y'all not on point. Can't say y'all not on point because I saw it. They say they just don't need. That's cute. No, we just throwing stuff. No bye week didn't hurt them. And this is a game that they was in the driver's seat because this is a team that already had a one loss in the conference. You gave them another loss, you just helped yourself and you just pretty much destroyed their chances. See, you got to beat this game because this game right here puts you in the driver's seat to be one of the few teams left undefeated, and this team would have took their second loss. Now you put yourself on the same level with all these one-loss teams, and now the pressure on your ceiling behind. You like pressure, I guess. It's still like going down the field in 1 minute because you're not thinking. They got to think ahead. Think. You know how big the moment is. Don't be always so dumb and wait after the moment to know how big it is. This is a big moment from strategic. So now you go to Arizona. Yeah, you can beat them. Yeah, you got to go there. But you They already done lost their game. And then you would have beat their opponent. And you see Utah taking L's. You in the driver's seat. Everybody who's on your side, you play. You don't play Iowa State and BYU. Everybody on your side would have already had a loss. You would have helped them get their second loss. And then you go take one and say, that's okay. It's not okay. It's got to be more initiative. It got to be all that lackluster. It's okay. No, it's not. Because they got to realize the significance of the game. That wasn't an unbeatable game on their worst day. And it wasn't their best day. And they still was in that game. Because really, think about it. The team like that, you see why a team like BYU beat a team like them. They don't have a lot of weapons. Name a receiver they really had. They don't have no big receiver. They only got their running back and a couple of running backs, but really one. And the quarterback. We shut the quarterback down, shut the running game down. You beat this team. You know what they coming with. Yeah, they threw the Hail Mary up at the end, but you know what they coming with. There's no way they should have had over 200-yard rushing. You know what they coming with. It's not a secret. So that's what's jacked up about it. Yeah, Preston Hodge, you say he looked bad, whatever. Preston Hodge ain't got the foot speed. Period. He's not got the foot speed to go out there and cover your one-on-one receiver, one of your faster receivers. You just can't do that. You got Hood is faster than Preston Hood. Hood is a true cornerback. Hood would have covered that a lot better. I don't know why Hood wasn't out there. I know they had him on kickoff and all that. Everything just fell apart. They should have. I don't know why they didn't put Wester back there to let the ball go in the end zone. But it just fell apart once Jimmy Horn was out. It was the whole secondary fault. Less than a minute. That last drive, it was you know they weren't finna run the ball. I mean, they had already showed you in the last drive they weren't finna run the ball. See, you got to pay attention. I knew when they was gonna run the ball, and I knew they were putting doggone running back at receiver. And he still get open. And a lot of times they were standing out there. If you at the game, they act like we had to call a timeout because they was acting like they didn't know who go out there and cover who. They were acting all confused. Oh, we got people out there ain't covered. They had to call a timeout early in the first half because it's like in the second half they didn't act like they didn't know who to go out there and cover who. I guess they had the wrong personnel on the field because they put so many D linemen in there. I don't know, but it was just. That sound cute. Shiloh to screw up. Shiloh screw up himself. He don't screw up the secondary. He screw up himself. They all screw up themselves because you got to think about all these boys say they want to go to the league. A lot of boys messed up their stock yesterday. So many injuries. We'll get into that. Because I got a whole situation with that. So many injuries. It wasn't. It just seemed like it. Yeah, it's a mentality. Let me help you out, man. You know football so well. Let me tell you something. He was outside because Travis wasn't out. But who was his backup? Who was Travis' backup since you know football? Travis' backup is Colton Hood. So Colton Hood is the one who got the pick. He was outside when he got the pick. Colton Hood is Travis's backup. He's also, when they want to have a third DB in, they will bring him in back, early in the season. Colton Hood is outside. They chose to put Preston Hodge out there because he is technically still a cornerback, but he's the starting nickel. He's a true nickel. That's what we're talking about. Colton Hood should have been out there man to man. That's the point. Yeah. So we thought to go ahead and get into this. Which clearly means he was on the outside. That means Colton Hood. So who was at nickel? If it went through Preston Hodge's hands, he was at nickel, and it went to Colton Hood. So that means that Colton Hood was on the outside. So in that last play, clearly, the nickel wasn't in. It was no nickel. See, that proves my point. It was a weird thing because it was like cornerback, and everybody else was on the line, including Shiloh on like 2 plays in a row. It's like they decided we're finna bring the house and put pressure on him. I don't know. But what would have been ugly is somebody had got pushed out their lane and that quarterback took off with that ball. Now that would have been ugly. But clearly he had his mind up to throw the ball. I don't know what. I don't know. Well, yeah, I got to go back and look at that. This fool talking about on the last play, who was covering the outside receiver? Where's got to come from? When it comes to timing, they use most of their timeouts in the first half. They used their timeouts because they was having a lot of personnel hitters. Yeah. That's one thing that I thought about. I was like, if they didn't know before, they own it now. That we could just bomb them, because I thought they would have figured it out early in the season, because they weren't throwing it, they weren't trying them. Because one, Travis was one of the DBs. They weren't really getting in the end on McKenna, but it was getting stuff in. But after that Baylor game, I'm like, and then I think UCF may have tried it a little bit. I'm like, okay, they finna mess around and figure this thing out. They can throw this ball deep on Colorado. Just foot speed to foot speed. Yep, they one receiver. We know. And he'll try the deep ball on any one of them, McKinney, all of them. And he tall, and he'll go up and get it. Sideline DBs can't catch deep ball. And then well, they didn't have no choice. And then they didn't have no choice. Jalen Wester, he did get in. Second half, they decided to add an extra lineman, and we only had one linebacker. That was the approach they took. I don't know if that necessarily worked, because I think for the first time they scored more in the second half than the first. I think they scored 17 in the second half. They scored 14 in the first. I don't understand that philosophy. I guess they figured they'd get more pressure. I think they were trying to take one of the run lanes away. And I guess they somewhat succeeded more in the second half. Hell, he's my oldest. Yeah. Hit that like button. We all up in here. We should have some plenty of lights here on this early. Well, we didn't technically lose receivers. We lost Amarion. They basically horse collared him, hip drop, whatever y'all want to call it these days. The guy spent the bound, came back down on the back of his heel. Got his leg. Either his leg got caught up under him or his heel. Either way, he booted. And they don't call that in college. And if they did, they weren't going to call it anyway. Yeah, definitely need that. Yeah, they ain't ready for this right here. That's cute. They got to come out of nowhere. Clearly, you didn't watch the game. This one thing that was obvious to me, they definitely didn't. The linebacker play. I watched Bentley do the same crap he did last year, as far as go up and hit the lineman and watch the running back run. You're supposed to go to where the ball at. You don't go to a person. The only time I'm gonna meet a person is they're in the hole. Clearly, our lineman ain't in the hole. Clearly, our lineman is a lineman. The only time I'm gonna hit a lineman is if I have to. If I'm going to a hole where the ball is. You don't go to a person, you go to the hole. I watch them boys just run up and, like I used to call it, I play patty cake with the lineman and forget the runner. Forget the runner. I get tired of seeing that crap. Like, the ball is right here, you go there. Don't go hit the lineman and the ball is like, it's unreal. They did that so much. I'm like, why are you entertaining the lineman? His big slow self. First of all, he can't see what's behind him. So why are you giving him the benefit of the running up into him for? Are you blind? You're supposed to be going to where the ball is. The running back is dependent on what you do and what that lineman do. But you're going to the lineman. You ain't even going to the running back at all. You're not taking on no block. You ain't taking on no fullback. You ain't taking on nothing. You just running up there into the line instead of staying your butt back, reading, make the running back make a read. You're not making them make a read. You just running up in there. And then I like to say, what they say, overall poor tackling. Yeah. When you did get in there, you reaching. You're not going through him with your body. You're reaching and you like a cartoon. That's what I saw that a lot. Yeah, it was some rough stuff going on, but hey, I don't know. Everybody listen to all these other cute channels. I don't know. I know the players listen to a lot of stuff. I don't know, but I warned these people a long time ago how these refs gonna do. And think I'm just here for fun and games, saying crap. I told you about them referees. And we're gonna get into that before we get up out of here. I'm just trying to catch up as much as possible with y'all. Bentley, you talking about Shiloh. Talk about Bentley. Yeah, that's good, but you just put yourself in the. Yeah, you need to beat them. You need to beat them anyway. See, this is the thing. It's not like, you need to beat them now. You got to beat them anyway. But you was in the driver's seat. You was in position that you wanted to be in, and it's like you didn't value it. Like, this game right here. I don't know how much I don't know what they talking about. He doing all that crap before the game like an airhead. Like, are you aware of what this game means? Because it was there for you to take on so many levels, hurt people and all. You act like it was an option to win. It's not a must win. How it ain't? Because now, okay, y'all do win all the games. Now you head to head with this team. Let's say if they don't lose another game, you messed yourself up with a head to head against them. Yes, so y'all in with the same record, but they beat you. They already lost to BYU, so they're not gonna have no head to head with a BYU. And then they say it come down between a BYU play somebody, one of y'all. They got the head to head. Now you gotta hope they lose a game, which they may. But why do that? Why not sit back and watch everybody else hope and wish? You had the position to do it. They the one who behind the 8 ball. You ahead. So it's not a it's that's how we got here. People not really understanding the moment. They were Coach Prime always talking about the moments. This is a moment. It's too immature and silly to sit down and think about the moments. You always want to look back and reminisce. You got to be ahead of the moment. This was a moment. Come on, we let you in. One bad call. I don't know what you're talking about. One bad call. Man, please, it was more than one bad call. I'll get into that later. You say one bad call. Are you talking about the referees one bad call? What do you mean one bad call? Yeah, defense definitely lost it because if they defense played like they've been playing, even at Nebraska, they had to just play like they've been playing, they win. It's a fact. Defense ain't gave up no touchdown, but one touchdown in the second half. This game, they gave up 17 points. So it's in the numbers. Even if they gave up a field goal less. That's the entire game. That's how close the game was. Defense definitely lost the game. Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's weird to me. Fourth down, you throw a bomb. That's that. Like, yeah, the middle field was always open. I don't know what play that call that was because that was a Hail Mary to me. And yeah, it ended weird. Why bank on that? You had so much time on the clock too. That's another reason. Now I call that play if it was, 11 seconds on the clock and we need to get way down the field to get in field goal position, or we just kind of Hail Mary-ish type of play. So this is a good point. I would have got that first down. You didn't even have to worry about really getting out of bounds or anything because you had over a minute left on the clock. And like they said, all we had to do is get in field goal position. And you almost at the halfway point of the field. So I didn't get that either. Even though I felt like that was kind of weird. That play call, that decision, it was very risky. If it had worked, I would have been like, you throw a go ball, 4th and 6. You just like he could have came down with it, but he could have dropped it. This is the same guy who don't drop the ball multiple times in critical situations. Yeah, he caught some too. So that's another thing. It's not like he was throwing it up to Travis, who's gonna go up and get it by any means necessary. I don't know. I want to say 3 good receivers. I say 1, and they have probably got more receivers than Kansas State. But yeah, they can take advantage of the secondary better than what this team did. I know they're hopeful, seeing them bombs at the end. Yeah, these boys mess up. They draft stock, man. Shiloh, he really hurt himself in the draft stock yesterday. Man, he put himself out there in a bad way. He might as well didn't play. He put himself out there in a bad way. That wasn't good. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, their rotation was kind of damaged on the offensive side. I definitely would want to see Auguste. I felt like he should have been a run in, but they don't trust him, I guess. Yeah, they spend a lot of time on their knees. That's the problem. They were tackling from their knees. That's the crap they used to do. They became known for putting their head and running through people, and they went back to tackling from their knees. All the secondary, all of them was tackling from their knees. Silver do it every now and then, but yesterday they did a lot of tackling from their knees. You can't run through nobody tackling from your knee, but guess what? That shows how you practice. When you don't tackle at practice and you don't get used to taking people to the ground, you just used to have tackling, then you won't have tackling the game. In the weeks that they said, forget this, we're going to hit, we seen the difference in the defensive play. Amongst other things that I've said. And fools get on here and argue. But we're going to get to that real soon. Real soon. I'm just catching up. Get y'all comments in. Like, share, subscribe. I definitely didn't execute. I don't think it was on the coaches much. It was on the players. I think that last series is questionable from the standpoint of why you got both of your cornerbacks on the island like they like that with the game online, because they score. They got the lead. They can win even though it's time on the clock. Like, I don't see no team lining up against Colorado, any of our receivers, man to man on the island, which should do at quarterback, and no help over top. We had the lead by 4 points. If you kind of go into more of a zone coverage, that bubble route wouldn't have happened. That got them down the field. It's like they hate zone. That bubble route wouldn't have happened, and those bombs wouldn't have happened because you would kind of have safety ready to kind of go and kind of make that the quarterback had to make the perfect throw, because he let that thing hang up that somebody can pick that thing. And he's not that kind of quarterback. But what can you lose when you're losing and you throw the ball up on the sideline and you hope your guy go up and get it. Worst case scenario, nobody get it. DeJounte looked good. I don't know where he was, and I needed him to step up in the end. I know Marion stepped up. What happened with Dylan? What did he do? Especially Dylan. What was he doing? I wasn't paying no attention to Dylan. Dylan ain't do too much of nothing. He really ain't all season. We really helped us out by kept leaving Dylan in and taking 31 out. I'm like, they ain't trying to win. Dylan ain't do nothing. Every time 31 got in, boom, boom, boom. Please leave Dylan in. They didn't worry about Dylan. Please leave Dylan in. Please. He was like a break from the running game. One game I'm bringing work. I can tell you. It's what you put on film. You talking about Shiloh? One game can mess you up. You've been injured for 3 games. This is your last season. Every game counts. And then you go out there and you look like this. One game can mess you up when you add in all the factors. That he hasn't really played this year. And when he did play, it was all right. He has a lot to prove in a small window of time. This one game can mess up his looks. It can be the difference of him getting drafted and him hopefully getting somebody saying you come out here and be a free agent. A lot of people put themselves on the free agent list this game. Let's be real. A lot of people put themselves on the free agent list this game. And some people kind of like, I think BJ Green got some decent looks, but I think when you look at finally playing the competition on the big stage and every day, you know it. You say, don't be critical. What you think the scouts are doing? What you think the scouts are doing? That's what we're talking about. I don't scout. I don't recruit anybody. Without playing, I watched the whole 22. What's the cap? I'm at the game. Where are you watching it at? I'm at the game. I'm not watching the film. I'm not watching TV. I'm seeing the whole field. They look at the whole field. The scouts don't watch TV. They come to the game. They're looking at the whole field. They see everything. They're looking at everything. They're looking at stuff. They're looking at stuff that you cannot see on TV. They're not looking at just the film. They're looking at the whole. If they want to just watch film, clearly they could. If that was the route to go. They're looking at the whole thing. There's things you will never see on the TV that you can see in that game. So that's what we're talking about. They can absolutely impact. So that's why if you're gonna protect somebody like with injury, if he's not having a good game, you probably would take him out because you don't want to put that kind of stuff on tape because they can that bad taste. Oh, that could sway somebody if you're trying to go to the next level. Well, you think the scouts not critical? They got to be a friend. You think they have a notebook and a pad taking notes to send love letters? They're looking at tackling, coverage. They're looking at all that. You don't want that on paper. That's common sense. You don't want that on paper. They're not going to ignore that to about 6 years because he got some stuff in 6 years that's negative too. So the realistic part is at this level and at every level you tight. That's why you get cut in the NFL. That's why you get cut because you have less room for error. You don't have room as a pro to make a lot of mistakes. So you definitely can't make a lot of mistakes at the college level. You pretty much the elite at the college level. Get to the pro is a higher level. So they're not going to risk you making amateur mistakes and say, oh, you'll do better than the pros. They're critiquing every little thing that you do to see how you're going to fit into their system. Are you going to be a reliable player? I tell you, they're not going to put you in the NFL not being able to tackle. So whether that's who you are as a person or not, you don't want to put that on tape consistently, multiple times. That's why it's probably best to pull you. Say, oh, it's not your day. Because if you yeah, you'll rather get pulled. Trust me. It's one of those things. And he's rusty. Same thing with Travis came back last year. Except he played a little better, but when he came back rusty, they was able to take advantage of him, even though he still made a lot of plays and he's playing both sides of the ball. And it wasn't his senior year. I don't know what you mean by alligator arms. It's my like reach. Yeah. We don't have a track. We don't have an update on these guys, but I mean they should be good. I think Jimmy kind of hurt his knee. I saw when Travis got hurt. Travis caught the ball and tried to run through those guys instead of get down like he normally do. They hit his right shoulder. He came out the field like this with his arm hanging. I think he tried to go back in. They brought him back out. They ended up going to the locker room. He never came back in that second half. He was over there in his equipment. He had some kind of stinger or something in his shoulder. So that's what happened with Travis. Jimmy got rolled up. He come hobbling out the field again. This stuff you may not see in the game. Something with his knee. He never went back in. I didn't see what happened to Timmons. I saw him out there 1 minute, and I don't remember seeing him later. And they say he got rolled up. Definitely hit that like button. We'll get into this shortly. Y'all appreciate these comments. Keep it going. Like, share, subscribe. It may be his knee, it may be his ankle, it may be the whole hip. It could be a lot of things. The way they pulled them and turned them and came down on the back of his Achilles. But either way, it wasn't good. He just laid there. You know, a lot of people squirm. He just laid there. When I saw it, how they pulled him down. They always tackle him like that. That's how Terrell Owens got messed up. Yeah, saw the patty cake. This is good. This is a good question. Good question. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into my good, bad, and ugly for the last part here. Y'all keep the comments coming. Y'all interact with each other. Y'all got some good stuff. Y'all been on point. Y'all definitely, you can tell people actually watch the game. Y'all definitely most of y'all definitely get it. Absolutely. I don't know. I don't think Welch was injured. He was out there on the kickoff return. I don't think he was injured. Yeah. Yeah, he spent off into one set. The guy picked it up. All he had to do was step in the pocket. Probably could have ran because the doggone edge rusher went too far upfield. The running back stepped over there and kicked him out. All Shador had to do is step up right there. Or he just could have took off running. He spent right into the guy. Like it was a twist. The guy finally picked him up. The running back was gonna kick him out. Shador spent right into it. I don't know what he was doing on that play. He spent right into it. The guy actually went too far upfield. That was all on Shador. And I know he know that, but That's not why I think it's big. Y'all worry about all this ranking. I heard some people out, did they cover the spread? This ain't freaking Vegas. This is football. They're trying to get to a conference. They're trying to get to a conference title. This has nothing to do with all that cute stuff. Like, we talking about, that all this symbolic. Like, I don't care about if they finally beat us. Like, it doesn't matter if they don't. They have a chance. This is an undefeated Colorado. You get this? Let's get this clear. Undefeated in conference play. That's what they were against a team that already had a loss, who was potentially, you could put them away as far as being a contender, because they already lost to another contender who's undefeated, BYU. That's why this was a big game. It had nothing to do with trying to prove a point, even getting ranked. It had nothing to do with that. Getting ranked would have been nice, but it was just would have positioned you a lot better for the rest of your season to put pressure on other teams who already got a loss or two, and then they playing you. They really can't do much to you because you 2-3 games ahead of them when you play them late in the season, like Oklahoma State, Utah. They already lost a couple games. Arizona lost one. You would have gave Kansas State their second loss, and you just would have been in a lot better position. The only other team that really could mess with you is Texas Tech. That was what you was positioning yourself to be. Texas Tech was going to be the only other team, and they're not that great, but they was undefeated. I don't know what they did yesterday or whatever, because I found out the Utah lost to Arizona State. And Rising was back. I told y'all Utah was overrated. Colorado is in the driver's seat. There's a difference between being a driver's seat. There's a difference between being a passenger, and there's a difference between being your butt in the back seat, like in the Uber or a cab or a paddy wagon. It's a difference. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Vegas. We're not talking about stats. We're talking about position yourself in your conference. Yeah, they can still win. That's cute. Yeah, they could be, but we're talking about position. You could be on the back row of the SUV too, or you can be driving it. What's a better position? Now you got to hold other people losing. Now you giving away your position too easily with the idea of, well, we all right, well, we getting better. Ain't nobody said you're not getting better. Nobody said that they didn't compete. That ain't what the comment. Stick to the conversation. It's not about them not competing. It's not about them not doing better. It's about the position they just gave up. Yeah, that was tough, man, because he had so much time on the clock. I don't know who drew that play. I don't know what routes they were running, but it was like the straight go ball. Straight go ball. Yeah. I would have think the goal would have been to get the first down, run somebody on the 5-yard route, because the middle was always open, run somebody that drag route across the middle, because he had time. Have somebody run a post or something. Maybe one of them run a go route, running back, go get out there in the flats, make the linebacker chase him, get open, put Draylon middle in the backfield. I don't know, and just get the first down, get out of bounds or something like that, instead of throwing the go ball. Because again, you was down by 3, you didn't need a touchdown. That was another thing. It's like, you don't even need the touchdown. You could have just got the doggone 3, maybe went to overtime like you love to do. I don't know, but the point is, you had over a minute left on the clock. You had clock. It's not like you had 5 seconds on the clock. I got to throw it down the sideline, and he catch it and get out of bounds and win field goal range. You had the clock on your side. I don't know what kind of call that was. We keep talking about the defensive call. I don't know why that route was the route. I don't know. I mean, if it had to work, it would say, no, that's what you say. If it had to work, it would happen. Knock, I would have been like, why that? Sometimes they do stuff and it work. And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. 0. Shiloh was on the line of scrimmage. Really? Both Shiloh and Silman Craig should have been back. The linebacker should have been back, waiting for anything come across the middle. Because I'm going to be honest with you, even if they didn't throw that go ball, they had so much they can work with in the middle of the field. There was nothing in the middle of the field. Nothing. Everybody was on the line, and all the other guys out there on the end. And you would have thought we was in the red zone. So I don't know. Because, I mean, you on a 45, and you in that coverage. You know they got to score. They weren't going for no field goal. This right here, man, is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Their defense didn't win them the game. Colorado offense gave them, I think they took a penalty. It was like third and forever. It was all the and you get penalties at all the wrong time. Defense ain't do crap. What defense got to do with you getting these silly penalties? Oh, we talking about the game. We ain't talking about practice. Should have been in zone. Absolutely. Should have been in zone. There's no way that Will Rock want to work in zone because that cornerback, let's say that cornerback was kind of in more like a cover two. Really should have been like a cover two type situation, like we used to do back in the day. Silman Craig should have been back helping the other cornerback. Shiloh should have been back helping the other cornerback. Linebacker should have been off the ball. And then we say, hey, run the ball if y'all want to. Because guess what? You got 2 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and run it. It was a little more than 2 minutes because we ended up getting the ball in a 2-minute warning. Go ahead and run the ball. Drop the linebackers back. Tell them to go get pressure. Since y'all going to throw the ball, we're going to take away all your little short intermediate routes to chip away down the middle of the field. And in the deep ball, we got support over top. That's what should have happened. I don't know why you put them boys in one-on-one coverage like they like that. I don't know why they keep talking like they like that. They're not. They're not. It's not too many guys who can do that. Like everybody do that. Why? In that case, how many teams have we seen do that? Name them. How many teams have you seen that we played that they cover our receivers one-on-one, no help over top? I ain't seen one. Not one. Where they don't, as soon as they hike the ball, that safety is shading over to help out with whoever at their receiver, Travis, whoever, Will Shepard. They always got some help over top. You're going to have to throw it on that sideline. I don't think that we think CU's better than they are. They was good enough to win the game. We know they was better enough than what they played. We know that. It was better than what they are. I think they're better than what they played. You're right. They're better than how they played. They didn't play their best game and lose. Nobody talking about a team that they should be better and they're not. They didn't play up to their ability. Their defense to play up to their ability, and their decision making wasn't up to their ability. So you can talk about that all day because that's how they lost. That's why they lost. Yeah, he had a chance to build on his stock and dropping ball and this and that. He's another one that I feel like had a potential to get drafted maybe in the later rounds. And now you basically looking at best, you're looking at free agency. Just getting a chance to kind of quote unquote walk on. You're not playing like a pro. He playing like a college receiver. He's not playing like a pro. Too many like memory lapses and stuff like that. That's just being real. That's being real. Like you got to look at everybody got pros everybody got seniors on their team who's trying to make a roster. Plus, they got people already on the roster trying to stay on the roster. You don't have a lot of room. They're not very forgiving. Exactly. Somebody understands. I'm sitting here looking at that man stand up all night. Was you at the game? Because you hit on something that I was going to say. Far as the good of the game, pre-game experience was great. Y'all had me on there. I had a great experience at the Buff Walk. I filmed that. Make sure y'all like, share, make sure y'all subscribe so y'all can see that. We have to see it anyway, but make sure y'all subscribe. We got more stuff coming from behind the scene. And also, I like the way they allowed us to go down, come down. Everyone in your seat kind of film the game, pregame. They didn't let us do that at UCF. They didn't let you come in early, see all the warm-ups. Yeah, this right here. Okay. He just didn't turn around. Yeah, but if he was stumbling too. When he chased after people, he overstride, he's stumbling, he falling. And he's banking on them not catching the ball because they do this. Just what happened. They catch it and keep running. I also like the comeback. Shador, he has this tendency to like his back against the wall. I can say what I want to say about that. I don't know how that will work long term. I mean, it's great when you need to come back, but it's not great when you don't. So Shador's his comeback was great. Got him back in the game, had him to lead. So the receivers, great thing. We got so much depth. Still some guys ain't even playing. So the depth is good, but the confidence, they have to be there. When you get your shot like Amari, you got to be ready to go. And then he got hurt. Confidence got to be there. We end up going to Will Shepherd. I don't know where Wester was at that point in the game, but I don't know what kind of rock concept. Somebody should have been in the middle of that field. This should have been a layer because I only need 6 yards at that point at the end. But I like the Hood interception, who was on the outside. It was tipped or whatever. Hood took it back, kind of stumbled, but we scored. He should definitely been the guy out there, not Hodge. I don't know what in the world. I know for sure Hodge is not faster than Hood. Why we think we got Hood back there on the kickoff return? He's like third on the kickoff return. He can run. He's young. He can run, and he's a reliable coverage guy. To me, it was a debate in the beginning of the year of whether he would be the other starter outside of Travis between Hodge and not Hodge, between McKinney and Hood, who would be the other side. We also was talking that for sure Hood and McKinney will be the guys next year. I don't know what's going on in practice. I couldn't tell you. I'm not trying to tell you, but I don't know why the confidence not there to put Hood in, because Hood is definitely more of a true corner. I heard people say that. They say it's possibly a broken leg. He got the cast all the way up. And more than likely, I mean, it's so late in the season, anything like that, yeah, you be out. Jimmy may be out for a couple games with a knee, possibly. Absolutely. It's in your hands. You talk that talk, is in your hand. Another good thing, I feel like we stopped the QB run. We didn't see a lot of two yesterday. Big thing, the quarterback can run. How many runs he made? That is definitely a good. He didn't beat us with his legs, but doggone, the running back show made up for it. The running back show made up for it. Fake injuries, yeah, that was in there. Let's get into that. The bad. The run game, Colorado run game. I don't know if I had the stats here. I get back to the run game. Colorado's run game. Where is this crap at? Colorado's run game was non-existent. I don't know why this dumb thing is go to that. Colorado had this mess up. So Colorado run game back to -29. I don't know how they only had 185. They say that Kansas State only had 185. I thought they had over 200 yard rushing. Maybe they had over 238 passing. I thought they had over 200 yards rushing. So maybe people was reading the wrong stats. I knew they was running, but not like that. I knew we couldn't stop when we need them. They say rushing yards on 185, but when he got them, it counted basically. and they really stopped running the ball. They only had 22 first downs out of 20. They had 423 total yards. We had 359 total yards. We had 388 passing to their 238 passing. Our negative running yards didn't help. We had exactly the same yards per game. Ain't that something? We had 6.1 yards per game. We punted the ball 3 times each. They had 69 total plays. We had 59. So they had 10 more plays than us. Their third down efficiency was 5 out of 13. I was 4 out of 11. Our fourth down efficiency was 2 out of 3. Theirs was 2 out of 3. Identical. That's why the game was close. Penalties. We both had 5. They had 19 yards. We had 20. So realistically, we didn't have a lot of penalties. But guess what? We got them at a stupid time. We got it when we were trying to drive down the field and got false starts and holdings and all that at the end of the game, well, when it counted the most. Our time of possession was 25 minutes. There was 35. So again, they had 10 more plays than us and 10 more possessions. I think it was that third quarter where they had the ball, as long as you really look at it. None of us had fumbles and both of us had an interception. That's the kind of game that we had. The stats were very identical. So our run game, negative 29. That makes a difference. Their run game was better. I thought it was higher. I thought somebody told me it was 200. Maybe they read it wrong. Maybe it was total offense at that time. Like I said, Shador took some sacks he probably shouldn't have took, but it wasn't a whole lot. Let me see. Did it show the sacks? I didn't see the sacks. I didn't see sacks, but usually show that. Anyway, no, he didn't take a whole lot of sacks, but critical ones. Kickoff team, one of them, they got the guy, let the guy get down to the 40, end up scoring. That field position thing. Outside of that, special teams did all right. Kicked the ball in the end zone a couple times. One time they tried to bring it out, got a good stop. So it was all right. Now, the lackluster fans, somebody talk about energy. I was in the stadium, packed out. It was like we watching a movie. That losing spirit is so strong in Colorado. Let's be real, man. They don't even know how to cheer if they light the pen on. They so used to losing, they don't know how to cheer. Everybody talking about the energy. It was so, it was packed. People complaining about, they got people in the back telling people to sit down. You only can stand up on third down. I'm like, boy, y'all got to lose the spirit. Old lady telling people, sit down. For everybody else game, they stand up the whole game. So all that sitting down watching the game, barely want to cheer Colorado. I know probably a lot of us come who not true Colorado fans. Maybe that's it because they had them. Then why the stadium was so empty for so many years. But I'm telling you, that's a big thing he got to deal with. The energy of that stadium is an energy sucker. Now, that has a lot to do with something else that I'm going to talk about. We'll get to that. But the energy was just horrible, y'all. The energy was so low. I have my theories on that. But that's my theories. That's my theory. So, lackluster energy in the stadium, lackluster fans. I think that the running backs did a good job blocking yesterday. They did. Actually, he had pretty good protection when it comes to the running backs. I did see that. I didn't see them running backs mess up a lot at all. Matter of fact, when they kicked that, was Shador spent into that block, that was a running back. He kicked it out. While the crowd being hyped into the game being loud. Not loud at all. It wasn't loud at all. That many people I was looking at, is this normal? It's like in the school, you only see that at programs who don't win, at like a lot of HBCUs, they can pack it out and they more worry about the band. It's cultural, it's all that. Colorado clearly don't have a culture where they know how to support their team. Clear. So it wasn't loud at all. So it's like you don't have a home field advantage when it's not loud. Like they talk about how loud Nebraska was, you couldn't hear yourself think. You talk about that at Oregon, how they get so loud. Colorado does not have that at all. It's a packed stadium. It's not built to kind of overshadow you like an Oregon, to make it loud. It's kind of a bowl, but the people not loud at all. Very laid back. But I'm not gonna put it all on them, but very laid back. I also don't like they didn't take advantage of the short intermediate routes. I feel like by now they should know the running backs open. I think Shador did throw it a couple times and waited to the last minute to throw it. So I think that they didn't really take advantage of that. I think last week on UCF they did those short routes because the middle, right behind the linebackers. That's why you saw those little drag routes. Deep square end routes were open. The way they were playing their defense, they were kind of like boxing everything out right there. Like the linebackers were facing out. So if you had been running like some of the more crossing routes and stuff like that, you could have took advantage of them. Defensive streak ended 17 in the second half. We've been averaging 6, 7 and below. That's been the brag. I was wondering when if that would end. That would have been great because you definitely would have won the game if you didn't give up 17 points in the second half. It's almost like they only scored 14 to 7 in the first half. It should have been like, oh, we're done because the defense not going to give up nothing. But that wasn't the case. We actually gave up more for the first time in the second half than the first. So that's why I say, technically, you say if anybody lost, it's the defense, not the offense. The offense put up their numbers. The offense, yeah, they could have did better, but the offense did score, 28? They could have got it out in 30s, yeah. But I think it has a lot to do with the defense. Our linebackers were very disappointed, as I mentioned. They didn't really tackle like they should. They didn't really hit. It wasn't really aggressive. So that was kind of disappointing. They definitely regressed. They can say the offensive line regressed. Offensive line did decent. As far as you couldn't really run the ball, it wasn't a whole lot of pressure on Shador, so we can't say that they just did horrible. I think the defensive line wasn't as stout as far as controlling the gaps and stuff like that, but they were decent. If anything, I feel like the linebacker play just was. I watched them. I watched them kind of like not read, and I think they've been getting away with that. Honestly, I've mentioned it before. They got away with kind of gambling on their reading. Anybody watching me, I've been talking about this. They just sometimes they just do Russian roulette and it don't work. And it definitely don't work when that running back know how to read your silly behind. So they met a running back who say, okay, I'm gonna watch what you do, and I'm just gonna jump cut. He just jumping cut. He just bouncing through that. He let you over pursue and he bounced right back to where you come from. He not dumb like our running backs just kind of running out like, oh, the hole ain't there. Ugh. No, not him. He said, oh, you over pursue. I'm gonna bounce back here. I'm gonna bounce back there. You look at that boy was just bouncing. He wasn't doing a lot of that. And that boy big, man. He's way big. It's like they want to put somebody else in pass. I'm like, that's a big old back. I thought he was a tall slam back and run upright. That boy style of running is definitely a pro. I mean, because you got to do that because you just can't do that because linebackers are reading. People can get off blocks. He reading you. That's why a lot of times they had him in the backfield. He just you can't arm tackle that dude. He just he spin out of there. He spin. The boy was so strong, man. That's definitely was the best running back we don't see. Probably the best running back we gonna see outside of, like I said, I see why him and that boy from Oklahoma. I think he better than that boy from Oklahoma this year. That boy, man, he's running. Let's get into the ugly real quick. Injuries, like we mentioned, Travis Horn went out. I saw him hit the shoulder. Jimmy Horn, I saw him hobbling off. We saw what happened to Miller, and they say Timmons. Something happened to Timmons at some point. Had to be later in the game. Tackling, we already don't talked about that 100 times. The bombs down the sideline, we seen that with Baylor. We've seen a couple other times. We definitely on notice from quarterbacks who dare to throw that. They can mess around and get picked if they don't know how to throw it. But we don't have a lot of quarterbacks who can throw it. But we seen quarterbacks who was able to throw it when they wasn't, like Baylor and like this one. And we seen it with Jefferson, really. They can get that ball out there. That's why I said we really ain't had no quarterbacks to really expose that. But when they have, they have. They just ain't have enough of that to go hand in hand with us. I don't blame the bye. Clearly, they need the bye. Clearly, they got injuries. They need another one at this point. They get another one in a few weeks. I don't blame the bye. It's not the bye. Y'all want to blame somebody? I'll give you something to blame. You know, as I said, I don't know why Hard and Hood. Like I said, I feel like Hood should have been out there. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I was in that stands when Colorado made their run late in the third, and them boys laid down every play. They weren't even on the ground. I watched the boy lay out, play went all the way up the field. He was 1 yard away from the sideline, and he was about to hobble off to the sideline. He was on his feet, and the trainer stopped him from going to the sideline from here to here. And the trainer ran to him and stopped him from going off the field. This is the kind of stuff that's got on my nerves. I'm about ready to take it out on the fans. Because I'm like, this is ridiculous. That was the first one out of 4. Out of 5 plays, 4 of somebody laid out on that drive. They say it helped Colorado. But I'm saying you up by 2 touchdowns and your cowardly behind resort to that little shenanigan, that weak mess. That's what made me feel like, no, you can't let these clowns win. I don't respect you. Like, you're that weak that you go and lay down with the lead. Like, if anybody should have been laying down and taking up clock and time and avoiding timeouts and all that, it should have been us. But we don't do that crap. Our players hurt and barely, and we calling timeouts waiting for stuff to transpire because we waiting for them to catch certain stuff. Instead of just like, go ahead and lay out and make them stop the clock. I only seen Colorado do that one time, close to do a look back one time and act like he had a cramp one time. And he definitely needed to do that because it was like he saw the people want to get on the field. These guys did basically 4 in a row. They stopped that guy from going off the sideline. Then they went out there, next play, every single time. I'm at the game. Every single time, the next 3 times, nobody was, I think one time the guy was down after the actual play. One time. Another time, the next 2 times, they looked around, then went down. Nobody was on the ground. The play was over. Nobody was on the ground. Everybody going back to the huddle. Then you know, everybody was booing. Oh, every last one of them guys that went down came right back in the game. You got that many people get hurt, and none of them was hurt. All our players that got hurt never came back in. That's what hurt me. All our players that got hurt, they didn't come back in no more. Jimmy Horn didn't come back in. I think Travis tried, and that was it. None of our guys. Marion, they go, oh, see, your players doing it too. I said, I bet he don't go back in that to carry him off the field. Boy, trying to excuse that mess. Number 0 went down, kicking the ground. Oh, he thought he was about half gone off this earth. He come back the second half catching all kinds of balls. He might have been one of them, caught one of the deep balls. It's like, I know he caught one in the third, and it's like the quarterback, he may have twisted something, but I'm saying he came back. He may have been the only one that went down. Nobody on the 2 guys went down on offense. One laid down, came right back in, quarterback went down. All them guys went down on defense on that series. They never was doing that when they was moving the ball. Except when the quarterback, he turned his back. And then I'm like, other people, we knew they was running the ball, and y'all still let him run all the way down the field. You knew he wasn't going to throw it. He could back up quarterback come in. You should load the box. That's the kind of stuff that threw me off. But I'm going to end with this, y'all. I don't care what you say now. I'm here for it. Now, the refs, pass interference call, I will say, I felt like that was a clear pass interference. 1, the guy face guarded him. 2, he ran into him as he tried to come back to the ball. We've seen that before. Shadua like to do that. I don't like that call on 4th and 6 with time on the clock. Sorry. It could have worked, but you put the game in the ref hand. These the same refs that let these boys flop down and not throw one delay game, one penalty. All these guys keep going down, faking like they're hurt. The play before that, Draylon Miller basically was tackled, but they say it was incomplete. He basically tackled the guy, before he went down. And I'm like, that wasn't a pass interference. They was not going to call a pass interference, clearly. So I didn't want to put that in their hands. I think it should have been better routes, better execution. They gave us a timeout right before that, extended 3 minutes. We should have had a play that got that 6 yards. I think that's what makes people great. Shadua, I feel like this was the game with Shadua. Even before all the late stuff, this is the game he can go ahead and put the rest. These people respecting his name for a Heisman. And especially later in the game, I felt like he could have did that. I felt like that was a missed opportunity. Because people running their mouth, you could have put that mess to sleep. And say, I'm the Brady, I'm the pro out here. I drive this thing down your throat. You give me time. He had the time. They had penalties and crap, but that was the time. But again, he didn't have his Jimmy Horn. He didn't have his Amarion. And he didn't have Travis Hunter. Because we know who he typically go to. Who gonna get open. See, the other boy, like, they don't know where to go. All this field, everybody runs the same spot. You don't know where to get open. Travis Hunter would have knew exactly where to go to get open. And he would have been the guy. At least they would have been worried about the guy instead of him only having Timmons on the go ball. So he took away a lot of his weapons. I admit that. But, this would have been a great time for Shadua to say, I did it without my weapons. Because everybody's saying they almost did it without their weapons. So, yeah, the defense should have made that stop. They should have never been in that situation. They drove down the field faster than they drove down the field the whole game because they know normally they had to run the ball. It was a little over 2 minutes left. And instead, they let them boys throw wide open wheel route that kept being open. And Silver Craig was right there. I don't know why they were looking in the backfield. The running back was out here. So that's what you should have been looking at. I don't know how they didn't cover him. Like, who was they looking at? And nobody was in the backfield. The running back lining up as a receiver, and especially in that late part of the game. So I don't know what was going on. But I know this. At the end of the day, I'm going to end with this. Greg said it. I told y'all. And y'all talked all that mess about these late night games. Some of y'all don't doggone listen. You can't talk about Colorado because you did the same thing. I said, they send y'all up with these late night games. That's another reason why I think the crowd was lethargic. I know I was lethargic. I was down on out here with the elevation. I'm 2 hours behind. You started him. My body at 10. It's 8. I ain't again at 1. I'm in here at 3. I'm tired. I got to go catch a flight. So you got to think about this. Them boys got set up. That crowd was a bunch of old people. They were sleepy. They would leave. I'm going to go watch the rest from the bed. They know historically Colorado. It's about a slow start. You go in halftime 14-7. I told you this slow start was going to happen. And they knew that. And they could say the stupidity talking about, oh, well, we just want more. You a clown. You a low-life clown to tell us you did this for the ratings. You didn't do this for no freaking ratings because you put half the people in the country to bed before you started the game. You started the game at 10 o'clock. Even Coach Prime said he go to bed at 8, 8:30. You started this game intentionally. And you put them at home at night, and you know they ain't never played a good game. Every game last year was raggedy. Stanford, Colorado State, even when they played that Friday at Washington State. And you can't name a game when they played 8 o'clock that they played good. When they do some bizarre crap. It's bizarre stuff happening in Boulder. You can't name it. And they know that. And they put these boys up like that at that time of night. The crowd was in that sleep. The players were asleep. It was it started getting kind of cooler and cooler. It just was a very dry, low energy game. That's why I said earlier, somebody about the energy. It was no energy. That the crowd was not, it would have been a totally different crowd they had to play at 3. Everybody, the energy would have been different. The sun would have been out. It's a whole different thing. Then I told them boys, practice at night. Y'all too busy want to be comfortable. I'm saying, no, I'm Greg said it today. Y'all, one of y'all players, coaches, whoever, I try to get back to y'all. Practice at night for them 2 weeks. Because your body cannot adjust to that. They practiced at night, I know, one time, and it was on the indoor facility. It's a whole different thing. I walked the freaking campus all day in the daylight. It is a whole different feel. The sun, the warmth, the blue sky, the mountains in the background versus the sky so darn dark, it's almost black. Bright lights sit right over your face. Sun sit way up. Bright lights sit right over your face. Everything is cool. Your body is shutting down because your body's telling you on a freaking rhythm at the clock. Your body's on a clock, fool. Your clock. The body knows at this time I'm normally asleep. At this time I'm normally eating. At this time I'm shutting down. You have to train. Why you think the freaking military train your body for every situation? They put you out there in the cold. They put you out there starving. They don't let you sleep. All the Navy SEALs, they make you do stuff in the middle of the ocean, in the water for 2, 3, 4 days straight. Till your body you go to freezing. Because they want to put you in every situation where nothing can shock you. Y'all couldn't do a simple night practice for the whole week. 2 weeks, you could do one. Y'all so busy trying to be comfortable. I guarantee you they would have played different. They took their butt out there on that practice field that they be on at 7 or 8 o'clock every night. And you would have seen all that stupid mess they was doing. They would have got it out their system. Because they would have been out there. He would have been, y'all, we're going to start practice over. Oh, you been lazy. So you would have saw all of that for the whole week to get their body used to doing something they're not normally doing at night. Your body's not used to doing that at night. Period. It's been so nice and cute with y'all behinds. Get them out there. Not no day before the game. I don't even think they did the day before the game because they went to the hotel at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We trying to relive what we did. Guess what? I don't know what kind of people y'all talking to. You done win at UCF because y'all was cool by y'all and having so much camaraderie. You won at UCF because you played at freaking 3 o'clock. That's why you won. That's why you played different. It was your only game out of 6 games that you played with the sun out. It was the closest game to your practice time. That's why. That's why I'm Greg said it. I'm telling you to your doggone face, to the computer, or whatever. That's why you played different. Not because you had more chemistry and you had nothing to do. You supposed to not have nothing to do here on a Saturday and Friday night. The difference was, and I don't see how you don't get that. Because you played that's the only day game you had. You was awake, fool. You was awake. You practiced at 10, 11 in the morning. That was the only game that playing anywhere near close to when you practice. Your body is in tune with that. Because you played at 3 on the East Coast. Guess what, fool? It's 1 o'clock where you at. I know, I'm 2 hours behind you. You practice at 11, 10 o'clock in the morning. You play the game at 1, your time. Your body is more familiar with that time frame. When you move your body to practicing on the opposite end, you're playing at 10 o'clock at night versus practicing at 10 o'clock in the morning, your body is not going to adjust to that easy. You see my elevation and all that? Y'all had to adjust, and you didn't do what you need to do. And that's why you was lethargic. You were lethargic. That defense was lethargic. That wasn't Colorado's defense. They was very out of tune. Y'all sit up here and want to blame Shiloh and everybody else when you don't want to acknowledge the fact that they didn't have them freaking night practices. And y'all, when you get to my high school, guess what, fool? High school, guess what? When do high school teams practice? Do they practice in the morning? 99% of the high school teams practice in the evening. When they end practice, it's dark. It's closer to the time when they play. It's light when they play. They start off with the sun up, and by the end, the sun going down. Guess what? When you play your game, you warm it up, the sun is up. And by the time you start playing halfway through the game, the sun go down, especially before the time go back. That's the difference. Everything different. Coach Prime said out his own mouth, he usually in the bed at 8:30. So you can't be dumb enough to tell me that even he is going to process and function differently at a time when he's normally asleep. So the only thing you really can do to make sure your mind don't trick you to say, I'm shutting down, and you're trying to turn up. You're trying to turn up. Kickoff is at 8. If your body's used to shutting down, the only way you can get rid of that, it takes a few weeks probably, and don't take a day or two, and say, you know what? Let me go ahead for a week at least. I'm going to practice when my body say go to sleep. And I'm going to be out there for the first few days of practice. I'm going to be like, man, I don't even know why I'm out here. My mind and my body is contradictory to each other because they on 2 different clocks. And that's why they have these slow starts. Y'all keep saying these boys have slow starts. Name me a freaking game outside of one that they ain't play at nighttime. Name one. It was only one game that they played in the daytime. Every other game was at night. You wonder why when you have a slow start when you're starting the game, the total opposite of when you practice. Why would your tackling be the same? Why would your passing, why would everything be the same? How could it? This is real. Clearly, you ain't played no freaking sports or did nothing in your life. You know, you ain't even got to play sports. It could be just anything. It can be business. If you're anything where you need your mind and energy and your body to operate at a high level, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. When you need your mind and body to operate at a high level, you're not going to be able to do it when you need it. That's what I can't beat that anymore. I'm finna get out of here, catch a flight. I'm just Greg what Greg said it. Think about what I said, man. I warned these people, man. I think that's one of the biggest points. Coach Prime made a big deal about it. He made a big deal about it. He was like, I don't even know why they keep doing this bull junk. He know they were setting them up, but y'all didn't make the proper strategy to get these boys' mind and body. Your clock is off. And you expect somebody to go out there and play a football game, full speed, be mentally and physically in tune when you normally sit back playing video games. You know, your body, y'all don't know science. The body, your digestive system and everything works while you sleep. This is basic science. You can't expect your body to do something it's not used to doing. And you just say, all right, go out there and do it. It's not gonna act the same. Your mind gonna be like trying to shut down. You're gonna be like, come on, get focused. You're not gonna focus. It's like you getting your butt up and going to work at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're not used to it. Can't be that dumb. Y'all know better. If you used to going to work at 10, and they're like, all right, y'all gotta start coming to work at 6. You're gonna go in there, you're gonna be out of it, you're gonna be not paying attention. You're gonna be like, let me get up, let me get myself together. You're not gonna do right. And if you was expected to perform, you're not going to be able to do it until your body get used to it. And some people can't. Some people can't. If you had to work night shift and you used to work in the day shift, some people never can adjust to that. It takes a while. That's why I told them for 2 weeks, y'all can shut down all your morning practices. Shut it down. Y'all can have it, man. I ain't finna have that. I got to go. Y'all have a good one. It's Greg. Greg said it. Shout out to Unified Strength. Y'all gonna start listening one day, y'all. Y'all have a good one, man.